1,
2,
3,
4, 5.
6.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christian Miller. Today I'm going to be going over the process of winemaking. I think it's an important process because it's one of the most popular drinks around the world. The Vatican City actually drinks the most wine, coming in at number 1 with 73 liters of wine drank annually per capita. And the U.S. is only ranked 53 with only 10 liters of wine drank a year per capita. The wine process has not really changed all that much from ancient China. The first time wine was made was 9000 BC, and it was used by fermenting grapes, honey, and rice together to make very rough wine. The process of wine is pretty easy though, to make a bad wine, but to make a good wine requires a lot of attention to detail, and that detail is mainly focused on the grapes. The quality of the grapes will definitely determine the quality of wine. Grapes are normally grown in California, Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal, and are usually harvested in late August or early October. The harvesting process is usually done by hand so that they can do a quality check while they're picking them. The larger vineyards are starting to use machinery though, just for saving money. After the grapes are picked, they're then sent off to a winery where the wine process starts. And the very first part is the separation or the sorting of grapes. The grapes are placed on a large conveyor belt that vibrates, and then by hand they go through each grape, making sure it's not bruised, over-ripened, or under-ripened. Once all the grapes have been checked for quality, there's a destemming process where they take a large bucket of grapes and pour it into a machine that's a large box with a corkscrew-like apparatus that peels the grapes from the vine, and the grapes fall through holes in the bottom of the machine, and the vines get spit out to the side. The vines are usually used for compost or thrown away. Once the grapes are at the bottom of the machine, they then move on to the juicing or crushing process, where they take large paddles and mash up the grapes and begin to make a juice. With red wine, they keep the seeds intact, the skins, the pulp, and everything. For white wine, they only use the juice. Once the juice is made, it'll get moved to a large vat, stainless steel, and this process starts fermentation. Fermentation is whenever you add yeast to a sugar, and that produces CO2 and alcohol. Fermentation usually only lasts 5 to 7 days, and then once the fermentation process is started, there's another process that begins. It's called maceration, and that's usually 1 day after fermentation. The skin from the white wine grapes is peeled away and then put back into fermentation. For the red wines, the skin stays on for up to 2 months. After it's been fermented, the wine is then moved to large filters, and the type of filters they use is called a pressure filter. Again, it's a large box with multiple screens of filters, each one getting more and more coarse, and they blast the wine through to take out any solid particles or any debris or any leftover yeast. This is called a pressure filter. Then after it's been filtered, it's then moved to large barrels, and it begins the process of aging. Aging's, again, probably another very important process, because the type of wood that's used for the barrels determines the flavor quality. Oak is the preferred choice, but more and more wineries are using cherry, chestnut, and mulberry trees. The way that they get the flavor is that the oak, or whatever wood you use, has holes in it that allows oxygen to get in and infuse with the wine. The wine's usually left there for 1 to 2 years, and then after it's been aged, they take the wine out and they begin to bottle it. The bottle for the wine is unique because it needs to remain dark so the sunlight won't damage it. And then it's labeled and plugged with a cork that creates an airtight seal. They use cork because it's cheap and they can take it off trees and it'll grow back. But once it's bottled, labeled, and plugged, it's then ready for consumption. And that's the process of making wine. Are there any questions?
Where is the biggest vineyard?
The largest vineyard is in France. They just now overpassed Spain last year in grape production.
How do you make rosé wine?
Rosé wine is a complete mixture of red wine and white wine process. They take the red grapes and they take the skin, the seeds, and the pulp out, and they let it ferment for right in between the same amount of days they would for white or red wine.
What's the most popular wine?
The most popular wine is Cabernet. Is there any other questions? All right, thank you.